Welcome back to the channel. It seems that my most beloved contribution to the pre-modern community has, of course, been my devotion to the Grotog deck. And one of the questions I often get is, can I play this deck if I cannot afford Mox Diamonds? And of course, assuming your locals will not let you proxy Mox Diamonds. And while I do think this is probably a weaker interpretation of the Grotog deck, there is a possibility that it has some strengths that over a Mox Diamond or over a deck that does have Mox Diamonds. Mox Diamond is a really horrible card. It doesn't do anything. So much of the time, it's card disadvantage. It makes you vulnerable to artifact removal when artifact or enchantment removal when you have no reason to be elsewise. And honestly, it was just a load bearing element of the Grotog deck to sort of support the red and black splashes for cards like Pyroclasm or Engineered Plague or Fire. So losing Engineered Plague is definitely big. I don't think you can really support it on just 4 copies of City of Brass, because you want to play 4 Engineered Plagues. You want to cast them quite quickly, and you even want to get 2 in play. So we are going to maybe try to compensate by playing Masticore. Masticore is a lot worse than Engineered Plague. But the thing is, Engineered Plague was a card that beat both goblins and elves, and you need a card that does both, right? So you could play Curse Totem to beat elves, but then you wouldn't be beating goblins. And you could play Hydroblast to beat goblins, but that you wouldn't be beating elves. So if your metagame is only goblins or only elves, feel free to cut Masticore, cut these Call the Herds, and just go all in on Hydroblast, Curse Totem. Even more Phyrexian Furnace is a good sort of way to try to fight survival of the fittest. Other than that, we just actually get to play all the stuff. We're going to play Mana Leak now. I think we could probably play 1 counterspell. I wanted to try out Mana Leak because I wanted to see my forests and plains more often. And I think Mana Leak might actually make a little bit more sense because you're going to be holding like blue-white on their turn often enough. But yeah, I mean, kind of look at this Grotog deck. I get to play everything. I get to play 10 threats. I get to play both Armageddons. I get to play Foil as my tech card. I get to play the full 12 cantrip suite, and I get to play 3 days. So those Mox Diamond slots, I get back stuff that I've always wanted in my deck. In many ways, you could look at this deck and be like, oh, how do I fit Mox Diamond into this deck? It's so tight. So, it's possible that I could emerge and just say maybe Grotog is like not a Mox Diamond deck. Maybe Grotog's just a 1 or 2 Mox Diamond deck. We shall see if this mana base works out. I think the hardest thing, of course, is going to be to support Mystic Enforcer off of just 1, 2, 10, just 12 green and white sources. And then the other consideration is I could play some number of Chromatic Sphere over Opt if I'm worried about my color selection. But right now, I don't really feel like I am. I have access to colors in my basics. Trevor's Rune's kind of excellent. I think maybe there's a world where I just want to play an additional plains over an additional island. But I think Gush is still powerful without Mox Diamond. Ever heard of this Dreadnought deck? Plays no Mox Diamond and 4 Gushes. So definitely looks like a good deck. I love these cards. I'm so fond of these cards. So we'll see if it plays like a good deck. See if those Mox Diamonds were load bearing, and see if the sideboard is at all reasonable. So yeah, this is my attempt to play Grotog on a budget. Hoping this works out. I think I'm going to be pretty bad against goblins. I'm pretty bad against elves. So that definitely doesn't sound good to me. But you know, yeah, I think we'll play it like this, but I'm going to maybe think that I will low key concede the elves matchup by changing these slots to blue blasts. And then the good news is that you'll never lose to goblins or burn if you play 4 blue blast, 4 chill. I mean, come on, that's got to be good. So yeah, but we'll give it a spin like this into an open meta, and we're playing in the freeform practice room this time. So, you know, we're going to see a lot less goblins and elves. Our first opponent is going to be Rat. 1, 2, 3, 4. This hand is not the best, but it is not a mulligan. And it certainly has potential. Rat is going to skip through his first main phase. And never mind what I said about... Oh, Miri's Guile. All right, so we are going to try to stop Enchantress now. Interesting. City of Brass. That is probably better than fetching planes, I think. It definitely is. All right, so I have to name Argothian, and then I have to race. That's all that happens now. So losing the Engineered Plague out of my sideboard also means I can't deal with Enchantress as well. So hate to see that. But yeah, at least we're lucky we're on the play here. And yeah, definitely bailed out by drawing both the second island and a green source that isn't Trevor's Ruins. This is low-key a big strike against Trevor's Ruins. It's just like a useless land early, and if your like splash enabling land is not good early, then this is like a negative Mox Diamond. So definitely worth reconsidering my life. And then, so yeah, the big problem is that, we've got the Sylvan Library, Miri's Guile combo. Okay. Yeah. So this is tough. I can name presence, and then a Parallax Wave is going to annihilate me. But I also don't think it makes sense not to name presence here. And yeah, I just got to hope that Parallax Wave never makes an appearance, or I can find a counterspell before. So we're going to name... so I could just name Parallax Wave now, and that would be pretty good. Just because presence is so slow. But I think I'm not going to do that, because you know what's even slower is Parallax Wave, actually. So we're going to get in with Meddling Mage and feel pretty good about it, I think. Because I'm going to be putting enough pressure that they can't really dig with Sylvan Library, and we might just be able to be faster than the potential Parallax Wave. They draw 2, though, so that is going to inform my vibes here. Seal of Cleansing. So they're just playing Seal of Cleansing. Oh, okay, so Seal of Cleansing just cast means that they want to use Seal combo on my Meddling Mages. So yeah, here, if I had something available, then if I had oh man, Gush and Trevor's Ruins is also just not a combo. If I had Mox Diamond available, my situation would be much stronger here. But instead, I do not. And I am going to just opt, because if I hit a Portent, I still want this counterspell. It's just Swords of Posture is nothing. I'm glad I didn't cast AK. Swords of Posture is bugged on me. And yeah, no foil in my hand. And we have to pray that we aren't going to get wave seal comboed. I guess even if we do, our follow-up is a flyer that will kill them immediately. So this will take all their mana, and then maybe I can just get them with Mystic Enforcer. But obviously being so many lands behind is not where I want to be. Yep. So that is what's happening. And yeah, I just wish I had Counterspell, or Mana Leak rather. But I do not. But yeah, luckily for me, that Treva's Ruins actually did hurt them. So we shall see if we can recover before they can get stuff moving. Armageddon is superb. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely good. Okay, so we can kill them with Armageddon. Oh, foil is awesome. Ha! All right. Yep. I'm liking this now. So I don't really have to foil anything besides a Parallax Wave now. The annoying thing is if I do have to foil a Parallax Wave, I mean, I would actually sooner just cast Mystic Enforcer, I guess, than be forced to cast this foil when I don't want to. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to foil this because I want to cast Armageddon ever. So that's the deal. Okay. So do I want to Gush foil or do I want a Naked foil? Or do I want to just Armageddon now? I mean, trading for a counter off the P-Wave I think is fine. I think we'll do it this way. Blue, white, green, blue. This. Thought I said green. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's no reason to do it any other way. So yeah, they go for the Opal, which is why this deck is obviously so powerful. And we know that our next card is not a land, but this is a lethal Mystic Enforcer, but it's not a lethal Mystic Enforcer. There's an Argothian. Should we just daze this? I guess we should. Because yeah, we know the top card in our deck isn't a land, right? It's just like a portent. So daze on turn 6 is great. So we have the option to portent shuffle our opponent because no, it's better for us to look for counterspell than to shuffle a thing. I mean, I guess it's almost the same. That's actually an interesting spot. Well, I would want to portent myself into the Armageddon mana, right? So counterspells and lands are good. And obviously counterspells and lands are good. And look, if my opponent drew 2 P-Waves and 2 Opals in one game like that, then oh man, but I just have to fade it for 1 turn. Oh no, I'm gonna portent myself. Gush opt. Okay, none of these are good. Now I just wish I had portented them and made sure that they don't have any good news coming. But at least we drew the land we needed. Okay, we have to fade for 1 turn. That's just business. Okay, presence is fine. Presence is fine. Seal is fine. So not a huge Treva's Ruins Matters game. Only a slightly Treva's Ruins Matters game. What do we got? A Sterling Grove. You can stirl your grove. You will not have any mana to play stuff on top. I'm fine with drawing an island now. All right, good luck. Have fun. Also, I've done all 7 damage to me via my own lands, huh? My own City of Brass Floodstrand. That's pretty crazy. Oh man, are they just attacking for 12 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. Oh my god, that's so rude. just a little Sarah Sanctum Opalescence. Why are you searching? You had lethal damage. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guess it makes sense. Okay, well, you can always do that. Bring in all the disenchants. This for your replenish nonsense. Board out all our Swords to Plowshares. And yeah, I'm not going to keep Swords to Plowshares just for Xantid Swarm, pretty sure. I'm just going to let them Xantid Swarm if that is the thing that they like to do. But yeah, man, that was annoying. Yeah, I think I just want to be more aggressive. And just like I mean, Call of Hurt is so bad against Naked Parallax Wave. Yeah, we have problems. So old Gat used to lose a lot of game 1 to old Enchantress. Now it loses even more because new Enchantress has 3 Opal Wave. And Budget Gat has no answers to Argothian. And really no answers to anything. I still just have to play Call the Herd, right? And then hope that things work out. I believe that's the deal. I'm not going to play Tormod's Crypt just for replenish, though. All right, this is the plan. Hopefully I don't get carpeted. Mox Diamonds slightly better against carpet. Oh, that's not a hand. And that's also not a hand. And that's a hand. All right. I guess I'll keep Island and the days here. Then I can just stop the Xantid Swarm / Argothian / Carpet of Flowers. That's fine. Okay. I can stop everything. Just need to draw something. Yeah. I'll mana leak that, considering I can't answer it through any other means. Something I'm deeply concerned about once I end up on the draw. Carpet? Miri's Guile? Yeah, I will probably Days of Miri's Guile with given my exact hand and the fact that it's like less likely to be a live Days for the remainder of the game. Island pass. Another Miri's Guile. Fair enough. Wild Growth. Okay, they're just playing enchantments. Developing their mana. 3 mana for Sterling Grove. Sure. 1 mana floating. Do they use it? Okay. That's good for me. Presence. Okay, I'm going to be back on the card advantage train. I mean, like the sort of ahead of them train. And I was just thinking about how I need Phyrexian Furnace early for it to do anything against Replenish. Do they have another enchantment after casting all their enchantments? Sterling Grove. I guess I will disenchant the Enchantress's Presence. I think their draw was decent. Oh wait, their draw was bad. It was 2 Miri's Guiles, 2 Wild Growth, 3 lands, 2 Sterling Grove, and Enchantress Presence. I don't think that's good. I shouldn't say that's good. I'm like in this game on a mold of 5, so. Well, this Days doesn't do anything anymore. Can't wait till the day that it does. Oh man, they just naturaled it. Okay. Oh, I guess I should have gone for the Phyrexian Furnace. Gonna regret that. Okay, I kind of think I wouldn't have gushed in response on their turn to the Presence. Seems like that wouldn't have been good. Guess we're just making a good old elephant token. I see no reason why they wouldn't just get another Presence here and then just stack another enchantment on top of their deck and then win. Oh, they're just going to get an Opalescence? That just means they have whatever they need. Okay. I used to beat Enchantress quite often, and now I do not, as you can see. I wonder if we can just like play gemstone mines in our deck. It's funny because they almost ran into days. Okie dokie. Play an island. Disenchant the opalescence. Pass the turn. Garbage time. There's just no way I'm going to win this, but we'll see what happens, I guess. Okay. I've seen enough. Can't come back from this. All right, Grow. No Mox, I believe in you. I guess this hand is not a mulligan, but it's also not like a good keep. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. But this hand's a lot worse when you don't have Mox Diamond in your deck, that's for sure. All right, let's just concede the game here and move on with our life. There's just no way for me to beat that. So what are we going to do? We're going to take out AKs. They're too slow. And we're going to have to bring in Call the Herds. Mana leaks are kind of bad too. I mean, they can be good. Just not going to bother with foil either. And we want a couple disenchants for that kind of effect. And we'll do this. Masticore is actually kind of interesting. What if we just play a Masticore? Just play no counter spells that cost mana. That's just like too inefficient. Just gotta kill him. The reason why I like boarding out counter spells in the burn matchup is burn is built to make counter spells very inefficient, because they can just cast spells that are like really cheap or cast spells that are like instant speed, and that is not good for the counter spells in your deck. My opponent thinks that I am the unlucky one, but they will soon discover that it is I who am kind of still the unlucky one, right? Because this Jackal Puff's just going to kill me before I have the chance to do anything. So I'm looking for a removal spell or a creature. The good news is if we find it, we win the game. Like if we find like a Korean Dryad or something. Should I cast the Korean Dryad first? It'll die to a burn spell. I think we'll cast the Chill first. Then if we draw a land, we cast the Korean Dryad. And then if we draw another land, we'll cast the Armageddon or whatever. Or try to Armageddon after a Korean Dryad gets big enough. Or I don't know, just do something good. But yeah, that see like that Molds of 4 was better than my 7-card hand, my 6-card hand, and my 5-card hand. All right, so we just have Plowshares, so that's all we need. Let's go ahead and get some offense going because it's necessary. But yeah, we're gonna hope to draw enough lands because we're gonna go down to a pretty reasonably low amount here. If they have a Naturalize, that'd be insane. Okay, we might just. Okay, well, Fire Blast is always an option, so. Okay, whatever. I mean, we just need to draw one more land, and then we actually just win the game, so. Like, we can't get double Fire Blasted. We can only get one Fire Blast, and then we can get Bolt Fire Blasted. So we can get bolted now, but if we draw the land, we can win, and then they might bolt the Dryad, in which case we'll just start the game over. Hopefully we find days. I'll bottom this. I'm just looking for lands. Okay. If we find a land, it'll be great for us. See if I take a bolt. I am going to take a bolt. Oh, Pyroblast. Darn. I wish I drew Meddling Mage for a Pyroblast sooner. Another Pyroblast, and then it's just like bolt, Fireblast, GG. Okay. No, double chill. You had one job. Okay. At least they don't have the win, but they do have a Goblin Patrol, so we have to. Okay, we need to draw the land right now. Please, no. Oh God, the land would have been so good. We're on a Mold of 4. We would have like no white sources left in our deck. Man, if we drew that mage, just name Pyroblast sooner, it would have been so much better. What do I even do? I guess I just named Fireblast. They have the stupid Barbarian Ring activation, so this doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Yeah, I was thinking about naming Seal of Fire, but you know, what good would it do me? All right, so we can gush into Masticore. No, we're just dead. Oh well, Engineered Plague would have been good. Okay, I mean that Mox Diamond helps in the burn matchup. It's gonna have a painless mana source, but the burn matchup is also just not a good matchup to begin with. So we're not gonna be too hard on friggin' Moxless Grotog for that one. Okay, let's get it. Let's draw a lot of cards. Let's hope my opponent doesn't do anything good on turn 1 or 2. Okay, maybe they won't, because they're this. Give me an island. Contemplating a Force Spike, huh? Alright, so technically not an island, but I will take a City of Brass and a Plains, huh? So do I have to worry that they are also an accumulated knowledge deck, and as a result keep all my accumulated knowledges in my hand? It is possible. Okay, they missed their land drop. Let's just go ahead and opt here. They're just like thinking after everything. It's like, what could you possibly be thinking about? Bottom. Another opt. Okay. Guess we should have played the City of Brass for this reason. Okay. Island. I like our Island Windswept Heath start. It makes us look like any deck. Alright. I am pretty hyped to just let my opponent hand size here. Yeah. I'm like so keen on my opponent hand sizing that I'm actually just not going to cast the opt. Okay. Mana Leak implies that they are a mono blue Tide deck, which is definitely something to be on the lookout for. And also Mox Diamond is pretty good against them. But we shall see what comes to pass. Yeah, I'll take a Mana Leak on against my mana screwed opponent, I think. And I kind of need this land drop, and my opponent's just going to hand size if they cast their AK. So let's just do that. And I'll just Mana Leak this Stifle, I think. Actually, no. Let's say that that's fine. Because we're just casting AK. Get the AK train started, make them cast maybe 1 or 2, and then hammer them with our super AKs. Meddling Mage seems kind of good. Mana Leak. Should I go Gush Meddling Mage? Probably not. This hand got awkward. I needed to Mana Leak the thing because having 4 mana means I could start hard casting Gush sooner, which would have been the thing to do. Well, they just countered this, but I had to get a card out of my hand, right? They like turn around and Tide me, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Stops them from casting their AK this turn. They're still trying to draw lands. Ooh, it's a Psychotog deck. Interesting. Oh, it's just blue-black Stifle Knot with Mana Leak? No, it's just a Tide deck. Okay, sure. You have a Tide. You're gonna let me have my lands. Interesting. Guess I'll opt. I mean, yeah, I'm actually fine with the days so that I can pitch it to my hand size, I think. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, I just kind of want all these spells. Guess I don't need this many gushes. 2 blue mana. Okay, go for the Chain of Vapor. They have mana to pay for Mana Leak. But then I'll just daze, because this is going to untap all my lands. Force Spike. Okay, Force Spike resolves. Oh gosh. Got my City of Brass. Really wish I had Mox. What can you say? Alright, I got 9 cards in hand. I've got maybe Swords of Plowshares. What are we doing? We're just playing blue-black. Okay, I'll just pitch Daze, and I kind of hate this Treva's Runes, but maybe land drops. I think I'm going to find plenty of lands with my AKs. All right, so my opponent got their big bad combo off against me. Well, I guess I made a good decision there. Just gonna play another tide. I mean, okay. Guess I could have dazed it. I don't know. Meddling Mage seems okay here, but feels like we can't mana leak anything anymore. Keg? Okay, sure. They've got all the time in the world. How are they going to use it? Keg, huh? Keg, Dustful, Underground River. Makes Swords to Plowshares look less good. Makes Meddling Mage look slightly less good. There's a Mishra's Factory. But I don't know, I'm at 16. I don't really want them to be able to take my planes away. I'm gonna make the somewhat controversial decision to Gush, or not discard Gush, because it just doesn't feel like my Gush is going to happen. And I might just foil a Stifle. In fact, I feel priced into foiling a Stifle. No sign of my opponent's AKs, or any card selection for that matter. And there's like a world in which we have... there's a world in which we cast Armageddon in this game, so maybe I should have played lands out once I drew the foil, because the plan was just going to be to foil the Stifle, and then hopefully that's enough. 2 mana leaks and a 4 spike down, but they just haven't played any card draw. They haven't played any creatures. Just it kind of feels like their hand contains counter spells. We're just gonna play another Tide. It's smart. It allows them to protect the Mishra's Factory if they have to. So running into the Stifle here is not ideal because I no longer have the foil backup, but I don't think I have a choice, because they can stifle the Tide, and then I lose the island. I'm just going to lose a land to the Stifle regardless of how this gets sliced. So maybe they have another Tide in their hand. That's why they are thinking about this Stifle. But yeah, they should know that the beatdowns here is more important. All right, we have to AK ourselves out of this. Oh man, the day is perfect timing. Do they have loose Stifles? Chain of Vapor? Huh. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good, I think. I guess I don't know. Could be good. Should have considered, I was considering AK on their upkeep, but I still think AK on their instep is good. Okay, they're gonna get a Mishra's Factory attack in. Just get in. Look at my spot. Yeah, AK2. Okay, we have stuff. Unfortunately, we kind of don't have exactly what we need, because this this is just a little bit too slow. Kind of sad. So we need the second foil basically, and that's that on that. But if we do get the second foil, then we do kind of get to win. So yeah, that was bound to happen. So we're gonna go AK first. Load up. What are they? Their sequencing here is interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I'm like threatening my Armageddon, so. But it kind of feels like if they're gonna beat down and put me in, like, kill me in 2 turns, then they could have just, tried to play to kill me in 2 turns. Oh, they're thinking about Dust Bowling. Okay, that's interesting. Dust Bowling's pretty good. Kind of forgot that City of Brass is a non-basic land. TBA. All right. We're gonna AK in response to this so that we have the mana to pay for a 4 spike. Okay, that has been done. So we just need to draw foil. We kind of need to draw mana leak, because obviously we have to kind of stop this Parallax Tide from happening, but one thing at a time. Gonna pitch Mystic Enforcer, even though if it somehow made it onto the battlefield, it would just die to Powder Keg. So just bad plus bad. But they can play Tide with Mana Leak backup and all sorts of stuff. So kind of bad news for me. All right, so tied with 4 mana up. Probably just going to be it for us. Can't think of a way to get out of this, but I guess it'll start by just having some counter magic, and we'll opt. Be nice if we could, I don't know, do anything. Okay, that resolves. Anyways, let's just move on with our lives here, right? Because there's just no way. Yeah, let's just move on. All right, so the plan is to just cast Armageddon. Yeah, that's all I got. Cast Armageddon or bust. So we have Disenchant for Powder Keg, which is not bad. I don't know, Mystic Enforcer just isn't going to happen, right? We're just going to be playing the Armageddon game, I believe. And so Disenchant for Powder Kegs is like kind of becomes pretty important. And obviously we're playing Accumulated Knowledge Chicken, which is a fun game to be playing. All right. We have a turn 1 Meddling Mage into Force Spike, but is what it is. I think we might just Meddling Mage naming Counterspell. The other option being to Meddling Mage naming Chain of Vapor. Okay. I think Counterspell gets some mileage here. And Powder Keg is a reasonable name as well, because I've got 2 2-drops. But I have the Disenchant rolled up, so I'm like less scared of Powder Keg. Let's go ahead and rip it on Counterspell with the knowledge that I'm just going to try to push through an Armageddon later. And so this is an interesting point. It's funny that it'll get buried in my budget Grotog video, but this matchup is not great for Grotog. I think the Duress Crew data has Grotog a little bit behind. And my friend Andy Levine is a big Tide player, and we had done a little bit of sort of testing, thinking about the matchup. And, you know, one of the bits of knowledge that he gave me was just like, okay, well, you can put yourself in a position where if you can Meddling Mage naming Counterspell and Meddling Mage naming Mana Leak, you can resolve an Armageddon for sure. And that would be really good. And so I ended up doing that in the top 8 of that very same 1K. So in this position, I don't have Armageddon. My opponent's splashing black. Should I still name Counterspell? Should I name Smother, Powder Keg, Chain of Vapor, Parallax Tide? You know, Chain of Vapor being the thing of choice is just kind of like whatever. It also implies that they have Counterspell in their hand, so and like knowing that I don't have the Armageddon in my hand it definitely kind of changes things, right? So I'm gonna AK. I'm hurting for land drops, but that's just the deal. There we go. Get our land drop, and then because we have the other AK ready, it kind of feels fine. And we might just go shields all the way up. Let's see what happens. What happens if they try to combo me here? I'm just Meddling Mage naming Stifle. Meddling Mage could get countered. I could just Portent myself. So yeah, go for Meddling Mage. Yeah, and Mox obviously just makes us pretty indifferent, or like not indifferent to Tide completely, but definitely more less worried about it. Do we hold up Mana Leak? I guess Daze is almost as good. Huh. It's an interesting one. So I'll take a Mana Leak and have the option to take a Meddling Mage. Because if my opponent doesn't have Stifle rolled up, then Crypt? Okay. We're both acute AK decks. I mean, they'll have agency over who gets to who gets the last AK. Impulse resolves. I mean, sort of. I don't know. Well, I guess considering Parallax Tide is a card I don't really want to see. I mean, I actually have the mana leak for it, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Answer to the powder keg still. They kind of showed that they didn't have counterspell in their hand. And it's like, I almost want to name Psych Dog. I think maybe Chain of Vapor ends up being the thing. The other interesting thing to name there would be Factor Fiction, which is like kind of an important card for them. But it's like, I don't even know if it's in their deck. Too many Q Dryads, man. All right, let's trade in this for the Fairy Conclave. I have a mana leak in my hand, so it's just what we're doing. Okay, they like to do nothing with that. Yeah, we're just gonna chill. Smother and step. Okay. Yes, smothered me. 2 mana, little activation, cheeky. Yeah, I guess I'll AK. Make them decide. Yeah. Cash in versus the Tormod's Crypt. Another Gush. All right. All right. Feels like Gush kind of doesn't do what I want it to. Well, now it does. Got a Mistress Factory, a Dusty McBullerson, Conclave activation, attack, a disenchant, a resolution. All right, let's see if we can stick a Q Dryad ever with our lacking in green mana sources. I think I'm like, this is just making me like Grotog less, right? Because I don't think I'm winning this game with Mox Diamond anyways. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. Is this when they choose to duress me? Oh. Like, if I have Mox Diamond in my hand, I'm like, I still don't think I'm going to win, you know? I'm kind of just trying to draw Armageddon plus foil. You know, I have exactly 5 lands in play against Parallax Tide. It's just kind of bad. I go for the Stifle. I'm just going to hardcast a Gush. 3 cards in hand. They haven't been doing much. Could very easily be a Force Spike. That's why you would keep Force Spike in, too. It's like you just, whatever. But it's kind of banking on them boarding it out. It's a very popular card to board out here. Well, now we have double mana leak, so that's good. So, yeah, I'm going to play Korean Dryad with double mana leak back up. Of course, I'm just going to let this one die because I have another one. Also, they can just pay for mana leak if they just use a removal spell here. So maybe if I don't play Mox in this deck, I have to play a Null because like a Null just kind of does things lightly better. Can't annul a Mistress Factory. Hard to say. Go for Tide. I have double backup. Do I have to play around Perish? Just not play my second Q Dryad? Do I have to worry about Misdirection? That would be quite wild. Okay. Looks like we just got a little resolution. Guess I'll opt. I don't need to disenchant. Guess I'll opt. I need a daze. All right, so it's pretty important, I think, that if we have Armageddon somewhere in the top of our library, that we use it, huh? And we do. And yeah, we're just gonna go all in on Geddon here. Thinking of counterspell targeting Gush, huh? Or mana leak targeting Gush. 1 card remaining, and it has to be a like black removal spell. Oh, I guess it could be a Force Spike. I think they know it's coming. All right. We resolved Armageddon. Let's go. Up against Smother, huh? And this is still the move. Like keeping daze, I think, is just good. I think they just need they spend so much mana on all their stuff. You can daze Factor Fictions, you can daze double counterspell. I think there's just worlds in which daze is good. You just daze Tide, you know, stop them from doing good tide things. Yeah, not a keepable hand, unfortunately. This one is, though. And I think I just bought him this Dryad. It's not that exciting, and I'm just like don't have the source for it, so. Island. We'll respond with Island. And yeah, unfortunately, we're the ones casting our AKs first, so we're going to really have to go AK, Gush Armageddon with foil backup pretty quickly. Don't mind the daze here, though. They go for Impulse. I am going to daze it. And sort of exactly why we have daze. Kind of the... Like, you're just... It can get value. It can get value without costing you mana, which can be quite good. Here's an interesting one. What do I do now? They missed their land drop. So do I fetch a plains now? I think I do. And I have to make my land drop, so we're just going to accumulate our knowledge. Unfortunate, but how it has to be. Second Armageddon. That's pretty cool. City of Brass, also pretty cool. Yeah. Let's just play the City of Brass and pass, I think. Because if we just like draw a disenchant, we can disenchant the keg. Trading Dryad for keg doesn't seem that good. This is sort of like the last turn I can cast the Dryad, though. It's an interesting spot. The second AK is just so dangerous here. So it's like just do nothing instead. I'm gonna wait till 5 mana to cast 5 mana Gush. There's lots of upside for this AK though, because if I find foil and can roll up my foil stuff, then I'm in great shape, right? There's an island. Let's just play the passing game. Be passive, be patient. I mean, if they have double counterspell up for the rest of the game, that's definitely pretty annoying. Definitely seem to be holding something. All right, let's AK for 2. All right, let's draw foil. There it is. A little impulse. Let's draw foil. Let's draw foil, fam. Maybe I should have 5 gushed that turn. Huh. I mean, they have 6 cards. They're guaranteed to have multiple counter spells. But the thing is, if they just sort of untap and tide me, it's not good for me either. But we got to start getting cards out of our hand. I'm kind of just trying to do math of like, can we go get in, land drop, get in? Can we go like get in? Can we just go Gush, get in, mana leak this turn, and then maybe if we draw foil, we can go for the double counter. I think Gush getting a mana leak this turn is like crazy on one hand because I'm just going to like get double counter. They're going to untap and tide me, but they also just cast Impulse. I had their 5th land drop. I don't have that many foils in my deck. I think it's like okay to just start with a Gush and see what happens. Okay, Meddling Mage is a good alternate draw here. Gives me like something to do, kind of forces the action a little. Not by like a lot. I'm just going to like Meddling Mage naming Accumulated Knowledge or something stupid like that. I don't know. I think I didn't have a sequence. Like I didn't have a sequence unless I drew foil. It's just kind of how it works. So just Meddling Mage. We'll name Accumulated Knowledge. Or we'll just name Parallax Tide or something. No, Accumulated Knowledge is good. Like something that they're going to cast on their end step that I can't mana leak is pretty reasonable. We'll just pass the turn. The next turn, we'll Gush get in Mana Leak again. And I'll Mana Leak a Fact or Fiction. They just go for Impulse, though. Okay. Sculpting their hand. Pushing me to the brink. Guess I have too many islands. Well, not a good Gush if you just discard 2 to hand size afterwards. Huh? I have their 6th land. It's kind of good. Maybe we should just like play the Meddling Mage named AK. They're just gone for Armageddon. They're like conserving their counterspell. So now that it's like, now that they have hand, right? Before they didn't have hand, it was like fine. I could deal with them not having hand. But now they have hand. So like I'm never resolving Armageddon against like a million cards in hand. 4 counterspell, 4 Mana Leak deck. They have 0 in graveyard, 6 cards in hand. They've been missing land drops all game. They haven't played a Psychotog. They haven't played a Tide. It's just kind of like, okay, is this Psychotog time? Engineered Plague. Sure. I've got a disenchant for that later. So are they going to have counterspell Force Spike for my McThingersons? I mean, if they do, they're a champ, but otherwise they lose all their lands. And I drew foil anyways. Should have attacked first, probably. I have mana floating. I'm trying to like tap my City of Brass for white. I like wanted to tap to pay for it for Armageddon, but still float white. I actually can't really do. Oh, I can do that in the modem interface by holding control. It's kind of a funny thing. I have no white sources after my situation. Oh yeah, they stifle my City of Brass trigger. Thank you for that. I don't know if you know how that works correctly, but I will take it. Counterspell. Mana Leak your counterspell. Misdirection 1 time for my opponent. Otherwise, they're cooked. All right, that was my basic plane. So we're drawing towards just City of Brass to cast my next stupid thing, which is annoying. Guess I'll pitch. Guess I'll pitch Armageddon. There's like some world in which I Sword Splasher as a Psychotog? Question mark. Maybe they were just stockpiling lands. It's not a bad Gush. To accompany my foil. All right, how many planes should we play in this deck? Should we play more planes because we Armageddon our plane so often, and our City of Brass can get Dust Bowled? Okay, they weren't stockpiling lands, so I guess my Armageddon theme deck is better post-board than it is elsewise, because basically nothing changed. I added Disenchants to my deck. My opponent added Engineered Plague, which who cares? They're just letting me deal a bunch of free damage with my Meddling Mage here. I'm just drawing blanks. Maybe they don't want to blow it up because they think I'm holding accumulated knowledge. Pretty funny spot we've got ourselves in where we only want to draw white sources. So we have 3 City of Brass left in our deck. And that is all that can help us here. So we're just portenting for City of Brass now. Okay, so we have another portent, but that is basically the same as just doing a shuffle. Yeah, and we'll draw the portent anyway, so good. All right, and we have a Flooded Strand, so it helps us shuffle our portent here. And there's the City of Brass. Okie dokie. We are going to put 1 thing onto the battlefield. Do we shuffle additional portents away? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if we do. I think the one thing we can't do is not play Meddling Mage this turn. Yeah, let's draw a portent. Play a City of Brass, cast a Meddling Mage. Because the City of Brass could end up being a Lotus Petal if they draw Dust Bowl. So we get a Meddling Mage, we can name Counterspell, and then we're kind of insulated from stuff. Because we can like pay for things, and we can pay for Mana Leak a lot of the time. Okay. If they want to stifle this, what I can do is foil the stifle and then pay for the Mana Leak, which is pretty excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So So foil, stifle, pitch an island, and sort the plowshares. Find an island. Wow, I don't have very many left in the deck. Resolve this and pay for it. Now what should we name? I think we still name Counterspell. That's like the card here. Because again, we can play around whatever. Play around Mana Leak. Plowshares Mana Leak. Feels like they should have Psych Togs, you know? 3, 4. Sure, Parallax Tide. Good Tidings we bring. Oh, they leave up the forest. They're like, that doesn't help you. Attack. AK is an interesting one. Leaving up the forest makes me think they don't have the enabler they need. I think I'm gonna go for that read, or really just like live, like, because the only way I can interact with this right now is to take away enablers. Pluto Delta, Pluto Delta, Pluto Delta. I mean, I guess they're drawing Pluto Delta. Maybe they have black cards in their hand though. I'm gonna shuffle this. I'm gonna shuffle this because it's possible that they just have like the Smother in their hand, and after the Armageddon, they haven't been able to draw a black source, and they haven't like drawn the Swamp. So 2 mana for the Conclave. A little bit of Conclave racing. It's not really a problem. 3rd Conclave. I wish I had Engineered Plague now. I'm gonna Portent you again. So maybe they can race. I don't know. Okay, so them drawing a bunch of this stuff doesn't really matter to me, right? Yeah, it really doesn't. So they can draw Smother, Mana Leak, then Counterspell. Or they can draw Smother, then Counterspell, then Mana Leak. So they're going to draw Mana Leak on the 3rd turn. So they draw Smother this turn. Double Animate, question mark. So double Animate in for 4. And we really just need to draw a white source, right? Or it's like not even that big of a deal. Go Opt. Foil. Not foiling anything right now, huh? Flooded Strand. Attack for 2. Yeah, I need that second Plains. Would like to have second Plains, huh? I mean, I was right that I only had one further cast of what's it called? Of of the mana. Okay, they've realized that they can hold a Conclave back, which is a good realization on their part. Good call on their part. So that's actually a huge problem, right? Because the City of Brass deals damage to me. And then this, what was this? Did they draw Mana Link yet? I already lost track. Okay, we drew multiple sources of goodness. So they did draw Mana Leak. I have another Mage. Let's just start with the obvious. No, actually start like this. All right, so what's our plan? I forgot if they drew Mana Leak. Portent, turn 17. Their turn. Portent, turn 17. 18 is Smother. 19 is Counterspell. So their next top deck is Mana Leak. So what we'll do with them having no counters up, activate, and they can't activate a 3rd time, is we'll disenchant. Do we disenchant Engineered Plague and then play the Dryad? Then we'll have Swords of Plowshares up anyways. So yeah, disenchant, Engineered Plague, this. The problem is they'll Mana Leak for my Swords of Plowshares. play... Is there a better play than Quirion Dryad? Play Quirion Dryad. Then we could attack. Force the block. That unlocks our counterspell. But I have the creature in play now. And I have a Dryad that's just going to grow to 5, right? So they can't like lethal me this turn. And if they just stop applying pressure, then they get super crushed. So it actually just doesn't matter. So we'll do this. We'll just pitch a Meddling Mage. It's like the most expensive spell in my hand. You just pitch Forest. Doesn't cast anything anymore. So look, this fades. Their hand is their hand is Smother, Counterspell, Mana Leak, and then probably some black cards, some other black cards. The other 2 cards are just black cards, right? So what are you gonna do? Yeah. I mean, they lost on time, but like against that hand, I'm literally just gonna make this Quirion Dryad a 5/5, and then I can just Meddling Mage naming Smother or whatever and fight some counterspell war. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could have clinched it because they would have been able to get the damage through if they dealt with my Dryad, but that was a big if. And they would have lost a Fairy Conclave in the process. All right, we beat Tide. We take those. Let's battle once more. All right, that's interesting. Guess it's a keep. Gonna lead on Forest. I think if I draw Island, I'll play Island before City of Brass. Treetop Village. Treetop Village decks tend to be good against Yield, Grorson, McToggersons. But Fast Dryad is one of the few ways to get this going, and I'll keep foil up. Like if I have Fast Dryad and then I just start growing right away, and then Armageddon, I might just like win on the spot. Because I can beat 1 removal spell. So I could play Dryad, counter the first removal spell, and then AK grind through, or counter the Oath. Or counter the Plowshares. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go for it. Treetop Village Plains, like this style of deck, you know, they have to be like a little lucky to draw a double removal spell here. And the Armageddon has the chance to just completely annihilate. But we'll see. Yeah, let's try to complete the thing. Okay, so it is going to be a Ponza Oath situation. So I can get Ponza'd here. Gonna assume that there's nothing too exciting they can do with 4 mana. And then, yeah, just gotta hope they didn't draw 2 Plowshares in their opening hand, right? But yeah, I will get Stone Rained, which will keep me off Armageddon, which will be sad. And they just have another Plowshares. Okay, fine. Play on. Oh, Treva's Ruins. Okay, so this is... I guess there's no evidence that they have Oath, right? Or Ponza. But I am vulnerable to Wasteland right now, which is super sad. Oh, and they have they got a lot of heat in their opener here. A lot of unfair amounts of heat, I do have to say. I'm sort of not glad that I was subjected to this level of heat. But let's see if we can find a Swords to Plowshares. Bottom. Play my own Treva's Ruins. Pass the turn. So yeah, we need Plowshares. All right. I'm out of here. Later. I could have won that game maybe, but it's just like, I don't know. Just not in the business of flailing about. My own Armageddons are kind of poor and everything. So it's typically a good matchup, but maybe it's a good matchup because of Mox Diamond. The rest of my cards feel reasonable here. Let's trim the daisies. Mastercore can be good. Just a 4/4 is good against like Treetops, and it's a good clock. It's good against their elephant tokens. It's tough to not play removal spells that are not Swords of Plowshares though, because my deck becomes super weak on Meddling Mage on Plow. So the being able to splash Fire Ice, even though I don't play Fire Ice in all my Grotog decks, splash Fire Ice is still quite strong. Triple Plowshares, huh? Triple Plowshares, Terravore. Guess it's Guess it's fine, because like I was like really bad hand if they were paired against Stasis. Alright, on the play, let's go. Better hands. Alright, let's keep for me, dog. Start off with the old Value Portent. Okay, these are all cards that I don't mind having access to. That early Friction Furnace is exciting. Keep Terravores in a good size. Meddling Mage is a little bit tricky to play here. There are a number of cards that are good for my opponent going into turn 2. Sylvan Library is kind of good. My go-to is to name Terravore. Since I added Calder, I would name Calderherd in this spot but unfortunately I added Calderherd to my own deck. And I have like the Source of Plowshares available for Terravore and the Phyrexian Furnace, so Terravore is like uniquely bad right now. But I don't know like what the next best card is. Maybe I'll just name Calderherd because I just don't have one in hand. Seems fine. Because Terravore is just going to be a tiny little baby for the rest of the game. Sylvan. Oh, they did the little Oath pivot. That's fine. I guess I'm dead. I just boarded in like one disenchant, right? Yeah. Okay, well. You get me with the Oath pivot. Furnace. Exile. Portent me. Draw a bunch of cantrips. Attack. And I guess I can consider holding Plowshares because I can like remove a Terravore. Like I can just block. I can do Stare Down. And like it's like removing 1 of 4. Yeah, look at this little baby. Look at this little baby. Little baby guy. It's not hurting anyone. Like I could just draw all 4 Plowshares, right? Or just like remove a bunch of Terravores from their deck. Maybe they had Oath in game 1. I just didn't know it. There's the treetop. Just gonna chill here. I mean, I probably want second Plowshares, but I don't know. I don't know yet if I do. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll just like, I'll also be pretty happy to just eat a Terravore. Like I can just furnace this Terravore to death and then get them to another trigger and then block that one, then Plowshares it, and then 3-4 mana for Deep Analysis targeting me. I don't have any dazes left in my deck, so Deep Analysis resolves. There's some Mox. Sure. Deep Analysis is pretty sick. Okay, they're playing cool stuff. Playing lots of cards that I like. So I kind of have to decide what I am going to do here against this Deep Analysis if I want to cash in. I could also take my free Terravore. Why did Calderherd go into the exile zone? That wasn't the bottom card. Windswept Heath was on the bottom. I saw it. I swear to God. Okay, well, report to Daybreak, I guess. See what they do. They do nothing. All right. We'll draw a card. City of Brass, huh? Flooded Strand, huh? Well, got a little value portent here. Don't want any of these. I mean, I guess I'll take the third Plowshares. Like, they can't win if I just have all the Plowshares. They draw 3 Plowshares. Now I draw 3 Plowshares. I am excited by Deep Analysis in an opponent's deck. I just love deep analysis. I sell opt. I mean, one of these oath triggers is going to pop out a Mystic Enforcer, isn't it? That port's annoying. Okay, now we need to just draw Gush, and then I'm going to go ahead and just Gush Armageddon because this port is too annoying. Yeah, I'm not going to Plowshares this because I'm holding the get in. Goodbye, basic planes. I needed you, but not as badly as I needed to Armageddon a treetop village and a port. Okay, well, they drew the second port, so that's not fair. Okay. I think I'm just dead, but I'll trigger oath, I guess. Have a meddling mage. Will travel. Yeah, once again, I'm just going to name... Actually, I have no idea what I name now. Hidden Gibbons, I guess. Hitterson McGibbersons. Because an additional Hidden Gibbons would become a problem. But what's nice is that waking up the Hidden Gibbons on their turn means they won't get an oath trigger. But now I'm on a 15-turn clock with my stupid City of Brass. And they're going to gain 13 life. But eventually we'll draw a Mystic Enforcer. Or eventually we'll oath a Mystic Enforcer. But we don't have an answer to the port. So things are not looking great for us. I just need an Acroma, you know? I feel like things would have been different if that Windswept Heath wasn't like visually on the bottom of their graveyard when I furnace them. I would have like just been able to keep my furnace in play. I mean, maybe I should have just kept my furnace in play because it was just eating so much value. Oh my god. Let's go. Let's go. Trevor's Ruins from the top rope. Oh boy. We did it. We did it, Joe. A block. They have a Trevor's Ruins. Stunning. There's the Gibbo. Okay. I mean, if they end up with 2 creatures, then I can have 2 creatures. It's not the worst. They play Call the Herd. All right. Okay, I'm just going to trigger Oath a bunch of times, I guess. Until I find Mystic Enforcer. And I can draw AKs, which is, like, amazing. Oh, Portent. That's a tricky one. I would love to draw AK here. But I think I'm going to shuffle. Because I can trade off with this elephant token anyways. Or I can just like take a bunch of damage. I could take a bunch of damage. Like I could take 7 damage and then oath again. But eventually my Dryad's going to be like a big boy and then can rule the battlefield. But AK for 2 is just so bad when the 2 cards I'm drawing are foil mana leak. But it is kind of the start of something. I mean, a half measure is to just block elephant. Cast the AK, draw some cards. Maybe I have to AK for 2. These like counter spells are just so dumb though. They don't do anything. I mean, foil can kind of help if I draw the island. Or maybe I just draw mana leak. I know they have a land though, so if they go for Plowshares, mana leaking it doesn't do anything. Waking up the second Gibbons. AK feels too strong here, but it's just not really. It's not really strong at all. None of these cards are powerful. They're all mid. But obviously, I could just draw a land and then cry. Because I need to draw like some spells. Because I need to. If I want a 5/5 Dryad, then I really have to work for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think that changes what I do. But I don't think the AK was going to get there. I guess if they port me on the main phase, it's kind of makes for an interesting combat situation. But yeah, I have to save the life total, especially with no gas in sight. But yeah, Oath of Druids, Call the Herd, Hidden Gibbons is kind of working for me. I'm like staying even against them when I shouldn't necessarily. I'm also running out of plowshares, so Mystic Enforcer needs to make an appearance quite soon. And then maybe I even have Masticores later. Kind of feels like eventually they're going to start drawing their copies of plowshares, but I don't know. Oh yeah, flashing back Call the Herd here is great for me, because it means if I do get the Enforcer, I get a free block, and then I can go 6/6 against 3/3 for a short in amount of time. Or I can like sometimes get 2 Mystic Enforcer in play. Yeah, there we go. Well, there's a gush. It's about time we drew some cards that were good. Did I mill any Call the Herds? No, I did not. How many Terrabors are gone? Just 2. So I have 2 more. I have 2 more Plowshares. I try to deck them. Go for the Plowshares. I mean, this Gush actually isn't that good, right? Because drawing Mana Leak doesn't work here. I think I'll just gain 6. I kind of have to. Because like my only out was to draw a foil, and there's only 1 left in my deck. So I'm just going to let my opponent supply me with the next Q Dryad. Unfortunately, my white gets ported next upkeep, so... Oh, maybe not. Quiet Spec. Okay. Is that worth Gush counterspelling? This Quiet Oath, I remember seeing. This is like a pretty cool deck. It's I forget what tournament it was in, but let's see what their situation is. They have 2 exiled Call the Herds and a Deep Analysis, so they kind of like maybe have 2 more Call the Herds left. I think I can match my Call the Herds for their Call the Herds if it came down to it. Ray of Revelation, War of the Worm. That's all they have left. Okay. We can beat it. We can beat it. Ray of Revelation, their Oath. Okay. I mean, I think that's fine. Start off with a Gush. Hope to draw something good. I would have missed the Mana Leak, right? Because, no, the Mana Leak would have been the second card. Darn. This Windswept Heath can't get anything anymore. Draw 3. Hope to find a Meddling Mage. Guess I'm just going to go Plowshares. Or I can just take 7 and then name Roar the Worm. Maybe that's fine. Seems bad. Plowshares, and then I'm out of Plowshares, and the Roar of the Worm just cooks me. So I have to name Roar of the Worm? Or I have to hold up Mana Leak? Roar of the Worm. Okay. That's the turn. Yeah, I mean, Hidden Gibbons is good against Grotog. Oath is good against Grotog, so there's no reason to not consider having both. I'm just going to take 7. Ouch. I still haven't milled any of my own freaking... Or wait, I haven't milled cards since the last time I talked about milling cards, so there's that as well. Okay, they just go for a Sylvan Library. They're going to hold up the... I'm forced to Plowshares this guy. And I keep drawing City of Brass, which of course is not good. They can now Sylvan into the nuts. So hate to be in this spot. They're just going to draw 3 cards a turn. Okay, I guess I lose. Plowshares. Plowshares resolves. I have 18 cards. I mean, maybe they'll miss their their 2 Plowshares will be on the bottom. I'll find Mystic Enforcer. Oh, I can't even cast Mystic Enforcer because of Rishon Import. Go for War of the Worm right now. Nice. All right. So we have some life. But yeah, still kind of wish we were a Mox Diamond gamer. They decide to get tricky. They decide to cast it with red mana. Seize the day. Untap target creature. Interesting. Yeah, so they just decided to do that instead of Roar the Worm. Both are must counter spells. Heads up stuff. We are going to Gush. I suppose we're going to Gush. Oh, man. All right, let's AK for 4. Hope to draw nothing. Disenchant. Just on, right on time. Disenchant. Well, at least we have the foil. So we can foil the Roar of the Worm, at least. Goodbye, City of Brass. I would draw 3. But then we finally get a disenchant the Sylvan Library right on time. But it's like impossible. If they just port us for the rest of the game, it's impossible for us to cast our last Mystic Enforcer. It's kind of a dumb one. Their Treva's Ruins are cooking. Mox Diamond. Okay, they can play Roar the Worm through Mana Leak now. I guess that means... I mean, we can Mana Leak just to keep our mana open, but I don't see the point in that. Island, 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 island. I think we can't even afford to lose one of these land drops here, even though I might have like a double Mana Leak in my future. I wish I saw Odes in the first game. I guess I should have kept playing, huh? We do need a top Call the Herd. I mean, we just died to their next Terravore, right? Oh, they just don't tap anything? They want to be able to stop me from countering a spell? Okay, well, then I just lose. I mean, all 4 Plowshares are gone, so they're just saying that they have Terravore. Well, we have to play like they don't have Terravore. Certainly seems like they have Terravore, y'all. They're like, why do I even need a Plowshares? I just have a Terravore in my hand. Or an Oath. I was never going to beat that either. Yeah, they're like, why do I need a Plowshares? I just have this Oath of Druids. Oh, and we used our Disenchant. Oh, no! We shouldn't have used Disenchant. 2 Oaths. Okay, okay. He has a family. Terravore bottom card 1 time. They boarded out 1 Terravore, and it's the bottom card of their deck. Anyways, GG's. I think game 1 was maybe like I gambled like a little too hard. I just take conservative lines. And then that would allow me in game 2 to just know that I have to play all of my disenchants and all my disenchant effects. And then also play Tormod's Crypt, which would have been relevant. And even consider... Yes! No haste. No haste. No haste. Ha! Ha! This doesn't give haste, right? Untap target creature. We did it! 0 cards in library. Let's go. It's game 3, boys. It's game 3. It's game 3. Oh yeah. They can be as big as you want, my friend. You can have the biggest boys in the world if you want. I do not fear these big boys. The chances are exactly 1 in 36. Oh man, he should play roulette. All right. We are now prepared to use our cards. The problem is our cards are very good. So I don't even know what to board out. Do we need a Mana Leak anything? So the nice thing about Mana Leak is that sometimes I can Mana Leak a Terravore. But and I will be on the draw. I mean, Meddling Mage is actually no, Meddling Mage is kind of fine, because what I can do is like Meddling Mage, Oath of Druids, or Terravore, and then force them to remove it with their Swords of Plowshares, taxing their Swords of Plowshares, allowing my other stuff to go through. I mean, I can also just like not play Ops, because Ops are like the most awkward card to have against Hidden Gibbons. But I could just like not trigger Hidden Gibbons with all my other cards a lot of the time. It's hard to say. I mean, Hidden Gibbons is definitely a problem. But I guess I can like double block with Call the Herd or just Plowshares it. Are we going to play like a long grindy game again? Making Mana Leak a lot worse. It's possible. What if we did just play Masticore? Because Masticore is good against Hidden Gibbons. I never want to feed this guy. I do need my cards. But he's taller than all of their creatures. So maybe that's relevant. Relevant enough. Like, I don't have to deploy him until I'm in a position that feels like pretty powerful. I also don't have to play foil. But foil's just nice. It's a hard counter, and like it could just come down to card for cards. And yeah, I should have clearly kept my early Phyrexian Furnace live for the rest of the game instead. But I just would have done it if my Meddling Mage could have traded. This is not my favorite hand, but it does have gushes, so what can you say? Sylvan McLibersons. You have it. Pretty slow start with the Treva's Ruin, so I'm not going to be mad. And I might take this opportunity to just get my Meddling Mage onto Oath of Druids. And I think I will do that. Hello, Basic Plains. Because I don't have a Disenchant in my hand, and I do have a Korean Dryad in my hand, so. So what I am learning is that I kind of need the second Plains and possibly even the second Forest, and I just need to be like a more Bant deck, and then the gushes get worse, so I can like trim a gush. But these are all just how the world works. If they port my blue, I'm going to be kind of sad. They pay. So the Sylvan Library has officially been a ponder. They go for the Hidden Gibbs, and they go for the Treetop Village. All right, it's a good combo. I have double Sword Splashers, which I don't mind. Okay. I have triple Swords of Plowshares. Honestly, that is also okay. I'm just going to plow my way out of this, is the plan. Another Gibbos. Okay, I'm gonna have to plow lots of gibbies, which probably means I have to disenchant a fair amount of oh, I'm just gonna have to wake him up now. I could have name called her, I suppose. All right, so anyways, I start plowing. I'm gonna just use 3 plows. Should I just like wait until I can make a big Dryad? This port is just gonna be so annoying. But what am I have to like Plowshares is so bad against their stupid Sylvan Library here. I guess I should have thought about a few things. It's okay. Got a Portent. I just looked at this exact pile. Well, I kind of want a beefy boy. Would be ideal. But I guess I'm just gonna take 3 for a while. 3 or 6. Maybe they boarded out Oath of Druids after they realized that it doesn't synergize with Hidden Gibbons that well. If I was my opponent, though, I would just attack for 6. Or I would make an Elephant Token is also good. I'm just like desperately trying to port in my green source so I can have like a Korean Dryad. They go down to 6. Take 3. They have Meddling Mage. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I got a few of those. They're just gonna play a 4/4 Terravore. Okay, I can't do anything about this. I'm just dead. I needed to establish an earlier Dryad. I'm like sitting here with 3 gushes in my hand like a dumbass. Like there's anything I can do. Why do I drew all 4 portents? I love the card, don't get me wrong. I just drew 4 portents. I saw all 4 gushes. Oh man, when this Dryad comes down, it is so over for you. Just kidding. It's gonna be like a solitary Dryad, and they're down to 4. I feel like I could just do something. All right, let's play another. Not a great showing for Moxless budget grow. Is it because of the Mox, or is it because Grotog is worse of a deck these days? Impossible to say, really. I think the problem is certainly that you can't play City of Brass as your only gold source. So that leaves us with thinking we have to play some amount of Gemstone Mines or some amount of Yavimaya Coast, so Dark Our Ways type stuff. I'm going to opt here because I need my 3rd land and my 4th land. Awkward. Okay, well, we drew Portent anyways. It'd be so cool if we had days in this hand. Ah, well, nevertheless. Wasteland, no! No! Oh, nice. I guess my next green source is pretty important, so I'm going to Portent. But yeah. Who needs Mox Diamond? I do. Ooh. Meddling Mage? I don't know what cards are in their Plains, Wasteland, Swords Plowshares deck, and I can't name Exalted Angel, which is almost certainly in their deck. I can name Weathered Wayfarer, a card I don't care about at all. I can name Plowshares, and then I will never be able to Plowshares their baddie, which could be a thing that doesn't matter. Because, like, oh, okay, I can just name Vindicate. They're going to Gerard's Verdict me. Oh, they're going to Ritual Arena me. Hippie? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Feels like they don't have Vindicate in their hand. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right. Plowshares 1 time. Okay. Plowshares 2 times, I suppose. And then I won't be doing much, but it's a living. Die. A little turn 3 Ritual Hippie is pretty funny, though. Okay. Get a Meddling Mage. So Gerard's Verdict is worse for me right now than Vindicate is, but I think Vindicate is still a problem. I mean, if they Vindicate a land, I'm like super dead, so I have to name Vindicate. Smother? Fine. I don't want my Meddling Mage. Now they'll Vindicate? Which one are they going to Vindicate? Island. Wrong choice. Wrong choice. I've got plenty of those. I only have 1 Plains. Vindicate my Plains? Oh, okay. It's just a morph. I'm in no rush to Plowshares here. Oh, City of Brass. Now I am. That's fine. Yeah, let's just go ahead and play a Korean Dryad. We can take a hit from the... if all they do is flip Angel, then we are, like, super happy, right? They're going to Vindicate the Dryad, though. Oh, they'll just Edict. Okay, I'm just going to keep chilling because technically I'm going to have a fucking giant guy. But they're playing... they've played 4 removal spells. Okay. That was the one problem. But luckily I have Mystic Enforcer, so... Mystic Enforcer is bigger than Exalted Angel, thank God. We have to AK for the land drop, though. And now we're racing. Island, please. Followed by Island, please. Nope. It's days. GG. They're bricking on lands, too, though. Oh, it's a Bane of Existence? It's a Headhunter? Oh, okay. Dark Ritual is really putting in work. It's like if they were just lands almost every time, it would have been fine. I guess we could hold up days. Whatever. So one thing that players of the... Oh, Withered Wretch. Okay, well, at least it's going to take some time for them to keep me under. I have 11 cards. So it's going to cost them a lot of mana, so I can... Come on, man. Withered Wretch gets in. So it's fine. It's fine. Like a 3/3 pro black is fine, you know? Like a 3/3 pro black gets the job done. Even if it doesn't have flying. And like I've got gushes and stuff. I can definitely get above it. I'm 3 Plowshares down though, right? Here's a forest. Almost time. It's almost time. And if they keep casting spells, they like have to put me under threshold here. Like soon. Or else I'm going to have 6/6 into 6/6. I guess they're just chilling on their like second Diabolic Edict. Maybe I'll have Enforcer into deck. Deck, please. Deck, please. Okay, so I have neither enough islands nor enough colored sources. Okay, this just doesn't work. You have to have Mox Diamond. I can't believe I said in the intro that I would consider playing this deck without Mox Diamond. Oh my god, and I'm just going to go down to 1. I'm literally going to go down to 1 for this. Okay. Well, I think the first copy is going to get Swords to Plowshared, so... No, that'll allow me to cast the second copy. But they can exile 4 and then exile 4 again if they want. Nice. Oh, they're just not exiling? They didn't read this card? They're just chilling. Chilling and not exiling. Hippies? Oh, Vindies? Vindies is good. Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm just getting punished. I mean, at least they're not exiling stuff. Like this would have been a 3/3 multiple times over. What is this, a 1/1? Oh, nice. I'm just dead. Just dead because of the lands I drew. Okay. Give me my Moxes back. Somebody, anyone, please. Nothing to furnace. Tend to dislike foil. Honestly, just playing Masticore or just be a chunky guy is not the worst. I don't know. Days just seem super good. All their cards cost 1,000 mana. I mean, it doesn't seem super... It's not like super good. It's better than nothing. I don't think I'm going to play Rare Revelation for just Phyrexian Arena. If they just like arena me out, then they deserve it. I just can't do anything about that card. And I can't play Disenchants in my deck because sometimes they can just duress them arena. Okay, I'll play the 1. I'll play the 1. They Vindicate, Diabolic Edict, Smother. They have so many removal spells of different names. Let's keep. Island Pass. Swamp Duress. Yeah, they can take my Opt, I think. I'll let them have a chance to take it and then hide the information if they don't. Tempo. Draw an island. Pretty good. Smother is definitely good coverage, but Vindicate's definitely something they have 4 of. Smother is kind of on curve. Treva's Ruins and City of Brass are not homies here, do I have to say. I'm just gonna Gerard's Verdict me. That's fine. I was thinking of naming Gerard's Verdict, but kind of felt super medium. It's fine. We'll just Gush Armageddon them. No biggie, no biggie. We will simply Gush Armageddon them. Okay. You can Gerard's Verdict me. It's good value. Gets them some life. Guess I'll lose the City of Brass and an island, right? Should have AK'd first, right? Because I could have drawn something spicy. Spicy and good. So they had a chance to cast Vindicate, but they didn't. Does that mean I should Meddling Mage naming Vindicate? Could also just Meddling Mage naming Plowshares. I lost 1. They're on 4 cards. They could just be left with like nothing. But if they like play a morph, then I'm cooked. Probably should just name Vindicate. Maybe I'll just name Diabolic Edict because it's cheap. Yeah. Plowshare is the one naming Vindicate. Vindicate the one naming Smother. No, Vindicate Island. They love to Stone Rain, huh? But what if the worst nightmare for them comes true and I simply draw lands? What happens then, my friend? Guess I should have named... Well, no, if I would name Plowshares, then they go Vindicate Plowshares. Okay, they get the dress off. What else do they got? Hippie? Retchy? Exile the AK. That makes sense. Armageddon. Trade with you. All right. We have a plan. Needs help, but it can happen. Okay. It's fine. I don't care. I do not care. Gush one time. I know I've already drawn one. Nice. Okay. Do we rip it? I think we rip it. It's like they have nothing on the battlefield right now, which is kind of an important place to be. Oh no, let's call the herd twice. Yeah, let's call the herd. They can duress me all they want. I have a creature. Although that play would have been really well facilitated by Mox Diamond, huh? What do they have? Just a bunch of 5-drops? Guess I have this as insurance. And oh, Mystic Enforcer. Don't mind if I do. Fetch land? Fetch land does the trick. Yeah, I mean, the Vindicating has been uncomfortable. Dude, don't play a Withered Wretch. Can't even mana leak that. It's fine. I mean, I could have mana leaked it and then drawn into the Armageddon, and then that would have been fine. But they're also not exiling my Called Herd. Alright. Let's see if we can get this show on the road. Yeah, I mean, they're not exiling Called Herd, right? So I should probably just call the herd. I mean, if they just like super slam Exalted Angel, I'm in trouble, but maybe this is enough. This isn't even like a great exchange because then I need my next screen source. Man, being not a Mox Diamond deck also makes you so much worse of an Armageddon deck. We are learning things though. But yeah, we can't just leave this Call the Herd in the graveyard for my opponent to sleep on. And my opponent's should just be removing everything. They just scoop. All right. Yeah, I guess we need Fire Ice. I don't know. Don't know what to say. Interesting. Well, technically this hand has good stuff. And it answers Ritual Hippie sometimes. But yeah, it does kind of need to draw the right kind of lands. This one's pretty borderline. It's got decent aggression. I'm just gonna keep it. I can't get Gerard's Verdict, so you know. Oh wow. Just a little bit of disrespect here for the wretch. Sure. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to portent out a portent first. Because if I opt into Island, well, I guess I can opt into White Source and then I'll just plow. And if I opt into Blue Source, I'm fine. Okay. That's the plan. Yeah, I think I'm taking the 2 here. They have a Wasteland. The thing is, like, the Withered Wretch is such a non-threat, but I've got the extra Plowshares. It's kind of hard to say. I think I'm going to be patient because I really just... Okay, well, now I have all the extra Plowshares in the world. So, Portent didn't see any lands. Oh, they're exiling now. They've learned their lesson. AK. I guess I'm still going to hold because I don't want to get my planes vindicated if my planes can be vindicated. Or I'll start by killing this hippie. Or wait, what could this be? Morph? Why was it Ritual Morph? They could have just cast the Morph. Why did they Ritual the Morph when they could have cast it? Can anybody think of a reason? Okay. I don't understand what's going on, but whatever, I guess. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and plow this guy because I need to cast AK at the end of turn, and I'll plow this guy no matter what. Ritual Morph? So that they can hold up Wasteland again? Alright. Oh, they're just playing around days? Both times? Yeah, I would like to make my land drop this turn. I'm also looking for gushes, right? Maybe I shouldn't have played that Flooded Strand because I'm trying to like get a Q Dryad first. I mean, their hand's probably like all removal. Go for the Vindicate. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're just hanging out here. Obviously, I really want to tempo suck out on them, but it's starting to get awkward. Are they going to go ahead and ritual out another morph? Vindicate targeting island. I kind of just let this resolve, right? Like there's, I mean, it's like the two. It's like this is the island that enables Gush, so maybe I stop this Vindicate, but then I'm like shields down. But their hand's probably just 2 black removal spells, so it's like not that big of a deal. Well, it is a big deal because their card could be if they have a removal spell and I don't draw a basic forest. I did draw a basic forest, so should I Armageddon? Probably. Especially because they just could be holding Swords of Plowshares, so they have to like find a white source and then get their Swords of Plowshares up. Guess I'm glad I mana leaked that. Whatever. Island pass. Forest, Q Dryad. Oh, Plains. Furnace. Okay. So if I do draw a white source, then I am going to name Plowshares. Q Dryad. Hope that you don't have any lands coming. Maybe it's all black removal in their hand then. Okay. You can draw. Hippie is fine with me. Okay, nice little win. So Armageddon putting in work despite the fact that it has not been like the most exciting thing that my deck can do. Right, so their hand is, oops, I guess I exposed the AK unnecessarily, but so they drew their 2 cards, but their next card is just Duress, and they don't have the mana for that. So we're gonna play Q Dryad, gonna play Gush, make our Dryads big. Yeah, this is why you play Q Dryad instead of Call the Herd in this style of deck, too. A lot of people chatted about this on the podcast. That Call the Herd could replace Q Dryad, and you can play Intuition. You could play like kind of a beefier Grow deck, but I don't know. 2 mana is broken. Okay, that went worse than I would have expected. Some of the games felt like I was in a similar spot as I would be with Mox Diamond Grotog. I was probably in plenty of spots where I wouldn't have drawn the Mox Diamond anyways, or the Mox Diamond wouldn't have made a difference. So there's kind of 2 ways to look at this. One is that Grotog just isn't very well positioned right now. It doesn't really have what it takes to compete. But the synergy of Mox Diamond in the Grotog deck can't be understated. It's just great with Gush. It's great with Armageddon. Gush and Armageddon can be good on their own, but the possibility that you can have a threat in play 1 turn sooner, have counterspell mana up 1 turn sooner, have like generate a huge burst of mana in a single turn with Gush, and just kind of like lace together these plays. Like there's like a lot of cool things that you end up doing with Mox Diamond, where you can like portent and see that you have a Mox Diamond on top, so you can just jam the Gush and squeak another spell in each turn cycle. It makes a huge difference in sort of the tempo advantage that this deck tends to have. And then of course it enables counterspell a little bit more. I could have still played counterspell for what it's worth. But I wanted to see how Mana Leak felt, and you could probably do a split. So I think this is like reasonable for a budget deck, but you know, goblins, burn, all gold border, replenish. Probably better candidates. I think this is better than black-white control. as a budget deck. But I think you would just have to rethink it. You would have to change this into a mid-range deck with a little bit more of a stable mana base, less reliance on Gush, and possibly change some things around. It's got some potential. It's not in its final form, but yeah, losing the Engineered Plague sideboard is pretty relevant, I think, as well. So I think once you do that, you do have to really rethink how you're going to build the deck to address those go wide matchups where Engineered Plague just used to be a great solution, and the solutions we have instead are less good. It is interesting to note the kind of tensions that exist in Grotog. It's just kind of like a counterspell reliant deck at times, and counterspells are not good against every deck in the format, or they kind of have like this weird good sometimes, bad sometimes, and sometimes you just need good on average stuff. So it'll always be better against linear decks, but I think the format in general, all the decks are becoming more robust. I think the Replenish matchup is getting harder as Replenish decks get a little bit more grindier. The Enchantress matchup gets harder. I think you saw that on display. Their ability to put Parallax Wave into play, Opalescence into play much more often makes it much harder for us to operate. So, this wasn't the perfect list, but it was hurting for those Mox Diamonds. So unfortunately, the conclusion is I don't think Budget Grow is doing something different yet. I think you can make a Budget Grow deck. You just have to not be doing the same thing that the Mox Diamond Grow deck is doing, because Mox Diamond really lets you play in a certain different style. And so I think you can play a blue, green, white creature mid-range, threshold style, grow style, meddling mage style deck, but you just have to make some concessions to not having Mox Diamond. And yeah, the color fixing was just it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference to have color fixing. Can't really understate it. This is the deck that wants to cast its colored spells on time, because the sooner you cast your Dryad, the sooner that you're able to win. And being wasteland proof is also a big thing. So yeah, nice try. Sad to see it not work.